Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode 142 of the Retrotopia podcast. And we are talking Marvel vs. Capcom for the arcade PS1 Dreamcast. And it's a fighting game, which is not our wheelhouse, but we're going to do our best. Before we begin, please rate us 5 stars and leave a comment. You can find all of our links at linktree/Retrotopia, including our social media, which Alan is kicking our Instagram into gear, so please go check that out at Retrotopia on Instagram. You can also find retrotopia.dashery.com. You can also use the link in the description of this podcast to find our new merch store. What else is on Linktree? Well, the Patreon is there. That's a big one. You can join for free and take part in polls, chat with us. You can write in about the game of the week, write to the host, which we'll be getting to soon in the 9-Bit Banter box. You can get Quick Play, which is a short review series. You can listen to those. And you get Retro Bites 15 days early and with an extra topic. If you join at the Hero tier for just $2 a month, you can select a game for one of us to play on Quick Play. Please be kind. You get New Game Plus, which is our new game review series. I've just recorded Pokopia and have plans to crank out Mina the Hollower pretty soon. I finished that one. I know Brian and Alan both have plans for some games, so we'll have some new episodes in that feed coming shortly. And you'll get a shout out on the show. We don't have any shout outs this week, but let's shout out the official retro game shop of Retrotopia, Retro Salvage Games. I just got a recent shipment from our guy Brother Retro over at Retro Salvage, and it is great. Really good stuff, fair prices, really good condition for everything I've gotten. So thank you for being part of our community. Thanks for starting a retro shop. To be honest, fair prices and ships anywhere in the U.S. I believe. I don't know about Canada. I don't want to speak for you, buddy. But yeah, if you're looking for something that your retro shop local just doesn't have, this is a really great place. He's got a website up. I don't know if we have a link in the description, but we should. So yeah, check them out. I think it's retrosalvagegames.com or .net. Oh, geez, I'm fucking this up. Anyways, Retro Salvage Games, look them up. And if you are very curious, also join our Discord. I haven't mentioned that. Please join our Discord. Retro Salvage Games also has a channel within our Discord where he can post some cool stuff. So let's get things started with the general comments and questions section. This is the culturally elegant 9-Bit Banter box. All right, our first question comes from Blaine the Hoagie Man, who is from the Retro Riders podcast. Give them a check. Sam, which U.S. cities would you consider to be on the Mount Rushmore of cities? And if you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, which song would it be? Those are two very wildly different questions. Gosh. The actual Mount Rushmore would probably be like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston. Bleh, that's boring. My Mount Rushmore would be New Orleans, Long Beach, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Those are cities that I like. I've never been to Seattle, but I wanna go someday. But I've been to the others, and they're lovely. If I could only listen to one song, probably "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" by the Beatles. That's just a good song. All right, The Big Deal says, Super Nintendo kids had Mario Paint, while us Genesis lads had Art Alive and Wacky Worlds Creative Studio. Did you ever play either or both, and what was your experience with them? I'd never heard of Art Alive, and I looked that up. That looks rough. No, I've never played either of them, but I think maybe we should cover Mario Paint at some point on the show. I thought I saw that it was getting added to Switch Online because those Joy-Cons can work as mouse or mices. So yeah, that would be a cool one to cover for the show. Art Alive, I'd have to find it, and maybe that's worth a quick play, but it looked absolute trash. If you're judging a book by its cover, it looks stupid. Well, let us know if you've played either of those. Munchie says, Sam the Gaming Man, if you were given the power to go back in time and fix a massive video game error, what would it be? I would personally make it so Sega didn't ghost drop the Saturn. I would love to see what the gaming industry would be like if Sega didn't fumble. That's an interesting choice. I'm going to go with Sega too. I wish they'd done better with the Dreamcast. It seemed like a really amazing console, kind of a somewhere in between a PS2 Xbox generation and the PS1 N64. Like, it was kind of a bridge. It came out at a weird time, 1999, and just died on the vine. I think it sounds like you could burn the game CDs. I didn't have a Dreamcast. I just kind of saw them out in the wild, kind of, when they were first out. But yeah, being able to burn copies of games really kind of fucks up your whole stream of revenue. I mean, there were other issues, but that was a big one. Yeah, I just wish the Dreamcast had done better. Philip My Mouth with Fart says, Hi Sam, going through asking everyone this question. You've traveled to a city you've never been before, you get to the hotel, and what food recommendations are you looking for? I'm always asking for either a good Mexican place or a good barbecue. I would definitely look for something specific that whatever city is known for. Like, if you're in Philadelphia, you ask for, like, where's the best cheesesteak or barbecue in KC or something like that. Otherwise, I would just ask a local what their favorite place is. I hate going to chain places when I'm out, like, traveling somewhere. It's like, I like to be able to find something unique that I've not had before. So that's what I would look for. Blue Yoshi 94 says, Sam, what is the best Nintendo sound at the start of the game? By this I mean when characters say Nintendo, like in Yoshi's Story. Well, first of all, you stole Yoshi's Story. That's the best one. All those little Yoshis, like, going, Nintendo. I think DK says it when you turn on DK64, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or I'm mixing that up with something else, but I feel like I can hear him saying it. If I'm not imagining that, I'm going to go with Donkey Kong saying Nintendo. And then Retro Salvage Games. Check them out. Samsonite, I was way off. So I just won $1 million and I'm fully funding the first annual Retrotopia Phantasmagoria convention of 2027. Where are we having this at? And what is your dream band and guest star? That's pretty cool. First of all, thank you for your generosity. If you win $1 million and you fund a festival for us, it's like our listening group would come and it'd be like a handful of people. Oh man, it would be so fun though. Let's see. Let's have the event. If it's a Phantasmagoria convention and it's spooky, let's have it at that hotel that they used in The Shining, because I think that's a real hotel. And funny enough, I think it's also the hotel in Dumb and Dumber. So funny that you gave us the Samsonite quote. So that's perfect. We'll use that location, the Overlook Hotel. Dream band. That's a tough one. Something spooky though, right? Oh, it'd be fun, the Misfits. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they'd be available, but let's get the Misfits, whatever iteration of the Misfits there is going on right now. And special guest Matt Berry, aka Laszlo Cravensworth from What We Do in the Shadows. He would be a great guest. And then Alan could meet him again. He's a musician as well. Maybe he could sing us some songs. All right. Thanks everyone for the comments. Now it's time for our game show, Choose One, Lose One.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's Choose One, Lose One, the game where everyone's a loser.
All right, and if you've just heard the rules, let's get to the game here. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, I choose to be able to get a perfect anytime I play any fighting game. Okay, you can, but you have to give up another genre that you're good at, like platforming. Now you're bad at platforming. Not to say you're bad at fighting games, just like you have to give something to get something, right? Big Deal says, I love the fact that I could get two of my favorite characters, Mega Man and Spider-Man, in a game together, so I'd like to order a 13-episode season direct to streaming about their adventures together as roommates. Well, unfortunately, every week one of you puts together something that I just hate to poop on like this, but you know what? It's going on Disney Plus, and it's going to be a Disney Junior show. I'm sure that ruined the vibe you were going for. Munchie says, can I just get more quarters to play more? No, you're forever cursed to find only nickels and dimes instead of quarters. You can exchange them, but it's inconvenient. Philip Mouth with Fart says, can I have the ability to take a punch and keep going and fighting? Yes, you can have that, but you can also have brain damage. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, I would like the ability to charge a quarter each time someone wants to hang out with me. Okay, but you're going to be disappointed by the lack of quarters. Oh, that was cruel. I'm sorry. Retro Salvage Game says, I choose to always have Hagar by my side to step in whenever I'm in trouble. If he's not in this game, shame on me. Indeed, shame on you. He's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so now you're cursed only to play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and not any of the good ones. All right, thanks everyone for playing. Let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
2 worlds, 1 arena. No rules beyond survival. In 1998, Capcom unleashed Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes. A crossover that felt less like a video game and more like the main event of the century. Developed and published by Capcom, the arcade version first stormed Japan in February 1998 before crashing into North America in March 1998. Powered by the explosive CP System 2 arcade hardware, every cabinet became a battlefield where legends settled the score. In one corner stood Marvel's greatest champions: Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Hulk. Heroes forged through impossible odds. In the other corner waited Capcom's finest warriors: Ryu, Chun-Li, Mega Man, Morrigan. Veterans of countless battles, willing to prove their world was stronger. When the bell rang, the action exploded. 2 fighter teams collided in a relentless storm of punches, kicks, fireballs, claws, and screen-shattering hyper combos. Assist fighters charged into battle without warning. Momentum shifted in an instant, and every victory had to be earned. Every match felt like the final page of a comic book, and the climactic scene of a movie all rolled into one. The fight didn't stay in the arcade for long. The Dreamcast delivered an impressive home conversion on March 25, 1999, in Japan. October 7th, 1999, in North America. And June 23rd, 2000 in Europe, preserving much of the arcade spectacle. The PlayStation version followed in late 1999 and early 2000. Though hardware limitations meant some tag team features had to step aside. This wasn't just another fighting game, it was a collision of icons. A war between comic book heroes and video game legends. A dream crossover that fans never thought possible until Capcom made it reality. When Marvel met Capcom, the result wasn't just a fight. It was an event that changed fighting games forever.
All right, thanks, Alan. And let's get to some comments from you, the listeners, on our game of the week. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, never played the first one. Well, you should. Give it a try. The Big Deal says, I love this series despite never actually being good at the games. I played the shit out of 2 on my Dreamcast back in the day as well as 3 in the Xbox 360 era. I picked up Infinite on a Black Friday sale a few years back, and that's where things just felt off. Still, this is such a cool idea for a series, and these games have always been so much fun. Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. I guess the series goes even further back. I always just consider like, well, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is the first. But if you get that collection that I mentioned in the game chat, it's all arcade versions, but you do get X-Men Children of the Atom, you get Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and you get Marvel, I believe it's Clash of Superheroes. So I think a lot of those character models and sprites were used in Marvel vs. Capcom. So you kind of see the DNA of the game. Were just really cool series overall, and really good looking games. A lot of like heavy 90s nostalgia there. Munchie says, here we go. I love this game as a kid. This was my go-to arcade, and admittedly the second is better, but man, I sank so many quarters into this one. Yeah, and you will. That's why I was disappointed that the collection only has arcade versions and not the console versions, because I sadly sold my version of my PS1 copy, and I do regret it because I think it's more accessible and not meant to. I mean, let's be honest. An arcade game is meant to make money, so they want you to have a tough time with it. That doesn't really translate to the console experience, so I kind of wish I had kept it, but that's neither here nor there. Speaking of, maybe I can get a new copy at Retro Salvage Games. So Retro Salvage Games writes, I can't speak too much on the first one, but this series as a whole has such a special place in my heart. Many, many nights spent with the gang playing 2 and 3 for hours on end. Ryu, Iron Man, and Hagar for the win. Man, those are just the best memories, aren't they? Well, let's get to our memories of the game. Some of them more recent than others. Released in 1998, developed and published by Capcom. Was released on the arcade first, and then later the PS1 and the Dreamcast. Be kind to us. We're not fighting game experts. Let's get to the chat. All right, and we're back, and here with me to talk some Marvel vs. Capcom is my Incredible Hulk, Brian, and my Mega Man, Alan. That's right, it's a crossover. How are you guys doing?
Hey, I like
God,
that.
are you calling me fat?
No.
No.
I just didn't want to lead with like Chun-Li's thighs and
Yeah, let's go
Morrigan's
back and redo
boobies.
this. I want to be Chun-Li's thighs.
Yeah.
You want to be Chun-Li's thighs?
Who
You know, we didn't have to just like objectify the female characters right off the bat.
I want to be
We'll do that
Captain
later.
America thighs too, so I'm equal
That's true.
opportunity.
That
Yeah, I
means
want to be
Mega Man.
Man's
Which
calves.
Mega Man are we talking about, though? Are we talking about this Mega Man, or are we talking about Captain N's Mega Man? Because
not Captain N's Mega Man.
there's
Oh
a
my god,
distinction
no,
there
I
to be
don't.
had.
I don't want to give you emphysema. Man.
Yeah.
So Marvel vs. Capcom for the, well, I guess arcade is how I played it this time because I played it on the collection, but PS1 era fighting game, and there were a lot of fighting games at this time that quite frankly I didn't play, but I had this one growing up as a kid and I sold it, which I'm really disappointed in myself that I did that because I would have rather played the PlayStation 1 version than the arcade on the collection. But anyways, what are your guys' history with Marvel versus Capcom? Let's start with Brian. Do you have any history with this?
I do. I do. Back in the day, I liked fighting games in arcades. Like that was the only way I consumed fighting games back in the day, outside of Super Street Fighter on the SNES. And Marvel vs. Capcom was one of the staples in the arcade that would always have like quarters on it so that people lined themselves up.
Yeah.
And I had an infatuation with just playing as Mega Man because he was so fucking adorable in this game.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's basically my history.
That's it. So mostly arcade, not.
Yeah,
not on the console.
This is the first time I played it on the PlayStation version.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, Alan, how about you?
I mean, fighting games and me, we don't really get along. I mean, the last
I guess, fighting game that I was really proficient at, quote unquote, and that may be me misremembering it, was probably like I think it was like Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the new challenges on the Mega Drive. I don't remember much. I know it was the one that came with like had like Cammy and was it T Hawk, and there were like
Is that
four new characters.
Alpha 3?
No, it was literally like Street Fighter 2, but I guess they added a few extra characters to it. It was
Turbo.
like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That shows the extent of my knowledge of fighting games. But this was always, this series, this whole crossover thing was always something that I kind of admired from afar. Because knowing how terrible I was, and boy, let me tell you, still am at fighting games, like, I always kind of had an interest in this series because at least on the face of it, it looks fucking spectacular.
Oh, I know.
And I always wanted to just like dip my oar in. So yeah, no, first time playing it through. I know it was released on the Dreamcast as well, but I'm pretty sure because I basically emulated it on the handheld, which was the PS1 version, I think. But yeah, first time.
And I want to say the Dreamcast, as far as the console versions, I think the Dreamcast version is considered the better version, but I don't quote me on that.
I'd believe it. Like as far as the Dreamcast is an unsung hero, I think a lot of the games that had multi-console releases, like by and large, the Dreamcast was
Wasn't the Dreamcast literally on par with the PS2, but released in the PS1 era? That's why it's considered the better console graphically.
It was so close to arcade perfect, that console. Yeah. It was what a shame. What a shame that, you know, although I've said it once and I'll say it again, Sega have the opportunity to come back and do something absolutely spectacular and do it physically at the moment.
Yeah. Like everyone's going away from physical. Sega could just be like, yeah, hold my beer. I'll
swoop in and release the Sega Uranus. And
oh yeah. What kind of?
It'd be all digital.
Yep.
Ugh,
no.
Nobody's going against the river on this one.
Shove the discs up Uranus.
Yeah, that would be great.
There you go. Marketing writes itself. Sorry. Had to go on a tangent.
Well, like I did have this on PS1, and I think the reason why I was I would see games like this and Game Informer and be intrigued by them, but also, and I'm not the greatest at fighting games, but there have been a few fighting games throughout my time as a game player that I've gotten into enough where I could hold my own. I would say Primal Rage is one of them. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 is the other one, and
great game.
This one is not, but I did like it. Like I never really got the feel because it is a pretty frantic. I mean, it just looks good. I think that's what really attracted me to it, was just like the cover is freaking sick. Like all the Marvel characters on one side and all the Capcom characters on the other facing each other. And it's just all layered. It looks cool. Like it was definitely a book by its cover scenario, and the game itself is great. I'm just not great at it, I would say. So I guess let's just get right into it. And we can talk about characters a little bit, but first I wanted to we'll mix this up a little bit because we're not a fighting game podcast. If you want a fighting game podcast, you should probably listen to Command List because they do good work over there, but I am not an expert, and neither are either of you. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just know that we're not.
No, I take it as a compliment.
Straight up facts.
So this is what I wanted to do. There are character classes or fighting styles in fighting games. I have learned this through several things that I listen to on a regular basis, and I would say let's go down the kind of fighting class list and let me know which one is your style. So first we have the rushdown and combo heavy style. These characters excel at closing distance quickly and overwhelming the opponent with high-low mix-ups. And executing long, inescapable combos, which is fucking annoying as hell.
Yep.
when you're playing against that. So examples of this would be like Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Strider from this game. So I'll kind of give you the class and then a couple of examples from this game. There are zoners, which is also called keep away. So they excel at controlling screen space with what says projectile spam and keeping the opponent at full screen distance. So keeping their distance. So good examples of this would be Mega Man and War Machine from this game. And then there's rounders or balanced. So it says great fundamental tools, solid normals, and a good balance of close and long range. Ryu and Chun-Li are examples of this. And then the fourth class are grapplers, heavyweights with command grabs that deal massive damage up close, but you have to use patience to get in close. So Hulk and Zangief are grapplers. So, like, what are your...
What?
Go ahead, Brian.
I'm listening to this and I'm like, I like Spider-Man.
Oh, I know.
I used Spider-Man and Mega Man. That was my combo. I was like,
oh
I like
God.
these two.
How did we have the same fucking combo right out of the gate?
Oh, nice. So you have a rush down and a zoner. I like the idea of a zoner because in like even a action platformer, like I like my ranged weapons that keep enemies kind of at distance.
Oh, no.
Otherwise I get overwhelmed. So like I like the idea of a zoner, but also I didn't know enough of the combos to like execute them well.
Oh God, not knowing the combos was half my playthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I am a button masher through and through, and for that I need somebody who is quick. And my opening salvo is always just jump at the enemy and just start hammering away, just mash those buttons. So I guess that kind of falls into that first category, just characters that have good combos and just get right up in the grill. But
I will say one thing about the combos is a lot of them had the Hadouken button input for their combo.
I noticed that, and as well for the specials. So at least that was something a lot. And same as you, I used Spider-Man because, I mean, by and large, if I'm playing anything with any superheroes in, I'm always picking Spider-Man anyway. I mean, he's my guy. He's my favorite superhero, bar none. So I saw Spider-Man was on there. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be Spider-Man. And he's quick and he's got good range. And I was just like, I mean, I dabbled with a few other characters, but I'm just no good with anyone who's slow or methodical. I need to just get in there and just wail on the enemy and just hope for the best. That's me.
Yeah. I did like that the Hadouken and I played I think I'm the only one that played on the collection this time. And so then was relying on, I guess, arcade style controls. I mean, you could use the stick, obviously, on the Joy-Cons on the Switch, but it was like a quarter rotate down and up to the, down and left, like a little quarter rotation and then punch or something like that you could get it off pretty quick, but man, it just, the game happens so fast that I've always had trouble like trying to execute something without just ending up reverting back to just button mashing. Because this is also and I should say, I think I lean Rushdown, but I can't say for sure because I mean, I don't have enough fighting game experience. I will say that I really, really enjoyed playing with Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
I gave him a shot too because Wolverine's up there.
You have to, don't you? It's just, as far as like straight up brawlers go.
Oh, yeah.
How did they only have War Machine in this game and not Iron Man? Like, they have such crazy banger Marvel heroes, and they're like, well, screw Iron Man. Let's take War Machine, second rate to Iron Man.
This might be a hot take. This might be a hot take. I prefer War Machine. I think War Machine looks fucking cool because he's blue and gray, and then he's got that like that shoulder cannon. I don't know. I think War Machine looks cooler than Iron Man.
I have
Iron
to
Man is better.
disagree. The whole like red and gold, the sleekness of Iron Man. And that is weird that he's not in this game, Brian. Like, I hadn't even noticed until you brought it up. And I'm wondering if, like, and probably not, because these characters are kind of a mismatch from like Capcom, Marvel, obviously,
Oh
as the
yeah.
name suggests. But I'm like, this kind of follows, I guess, tenuously some sort of onslaught storyline, and I'm wondering, just maybe Tony Stark wasn't around for that in the comics. Nothing to
It
back
does.
that up.
It does. It does. I didn't get to that. We kind of glossed over story because I wanted to get right into these characters, but just really quick, it says the game is based on the Onslaught storyline that ran through various Marvel comics in the mid '90s, with some changes to the story.
Well, yeah, because Mega Man probably wasn't in it in the comics. I don't know. Again,
Well,
I've not
no,
read
yeah,
it, but
I don't really
Okay,
know
well,
exactly what the story is to like bring these characters together in a crossover like this. But you could come up with anything. You could just be like, oh yeah, it's some sort of I don't know, interdimensional bullshit. Who knows? I
you
don't know.
don't need
Whatever.
much for a fighting game, though, do you? It's just give me
No.
the bare bone. Story in this is just like, there's a big bad, fight other people until you get him, and I'm like, okay, that'll do me.
Yep.
you know what?
Yeah.
It's
No.
more acceptable Iron Man not being there if it's part of a storyline that's already established. But just looking at the roster, there's so many more A-listers they could have picked for the Marvel side, and just
Yeah, I have to, like, again, I've not played any of the other ones, and I have to imagine that the roster gets bigger.
Oh, it does
Well, there you
for
go.
sure.
Maybe I can't imagine it's a rights thing necessarily, because this isn't even the first in this. I mean, not, I mean, it's the first in the Marvel versus Capcom series, but you had
Yeah.
like Marvel versus Street Fighter, I think,
oh, it
before
was
this.
X-Men versus Street Fighter,
X-Men Street
Marvel
Fighter.
superheroes versus Street Fighters, Marvel
Right.
versus Capcom, Clash of the Superheroes.
So it was
Yeah.
established
Yeah.
There's
beforehand.
a
So
bunch. And then there was X-Men Children of the Atom, and that's like basically a Street Fighter but with X-Men characters. So there's that too. That's all, and all of that is on the collection. The collection's pretty cool, actually.
yeah, I did actually. I think I did. I buy that or get it free. I can't remember, but it's on my PlayStation.
Ooh, yeah, it's pretty fun. There is also an infinite or broken tier. Primarily palette swaps of existing characters that feature significantly altered frame data or properties that make them stand out. Red Venom, which is faster than the standard
Ooh.
Venom, and then Gold War Machine, faster fly speed and less recovery on projectiles. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty
You
cool.
forgot about
I don't know if they were
Orange Hulk.
unlockable or what the deal is, but did you guys notice on the and let's talk about the roster too a little bit. Did you guys notice that if you got to the edges, because it's in a grid and you have like little picture icons of each character, and I love I almost wish that the character select screen didn't have a timer, because like I could just flip through those sprites. Look so good. I just flip through there and just like look at all the different ones. But you get to the edge, and sometimes if you were to go over past the edge, there would be a secret character.
Like
Just
Roll.
is in there. There's, if you go down below, there's like, oh shoot, what's her name? What's the bat lady with the boobies?
Morrigan.
Morrigan. Well, there's Morrigan, and then there's like another Morrigan that's like slightly
Lilith.
different.
I've never
Lilith?
even
No.
played Darkstalkers, and I know that's Morrigan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, misspent youth.
Yes. Well, that's another one we talked about. We did the Tomb Raider episode a few weeks ago. Remember, like the Game Informer people would like draw on envelopes and mail them in. There was a lot of Morrigan on those.
I did not know that there were. I did not know this on the character select screen. That
Yeah.
you could do that. That's so cool.
And if you go below, so I think there's also like a dark palette swap of Chun-Li.
Huh.
It's like a shadow lady, I think is what she was called. Yeah.
See, Chun-Li, I didn't give Chun-Li a chance in this game, and I should have done, because she was always my main playing Street Fighter 2, and predominantly not because of what you're thinking.
Thick thighs save lives.
That's right.
Just being able to spam those kicks got me out of a lot of trouble. So yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I cheese the game. I cheese all
Yeah,
fighting
I
games.
played a Z Honda because I own a Honda.
But good enough. Good enough.
Oh, you know what else is cool about this? Two extra things on the characters for me. I mean, the Marvel characters are cool as hell. I really like that they have Gambit, because
Yes.
Gambit does not appear in a lot of extra media. Like, he's kind of almost, he's in the X-Men animated series, and I think was probably the most popular he's ever been in the 90s. But it's just like, I just like to see Gambit. I like
I've
Gambit.
always loved Gambit. Gambit was, like you said, in the 90s, he was super popular, and it just kind of became one of those characters that has always been endearing to me. When I saw him in Deadpool versus Wolverine, I did a little
Yeah,
scree.
I mean,
I know. So cool.
it's hard to argue Gambit as being like, he's definitely one of the coolest fucking characters going, isn't he? It's just
Yeah.
effortlessly cool. Although I will say I am still a little bit traumatized by Gambit's involvement in Arcade's Revenge. And there's a certain person listening to this who knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That
Oh,
X-Men game that you played?
the Gambit levels, let me tell you. That was a thing. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky you're fucking cool, Gambit, because those levels just nearly killed me.
And then on the Marvel side, or not on the Marvel side, on the Capcom side, there were a ton of, like, especially when I was a kid, I was like, who the hell are all these guys? Like Jin. Then there's God, what's this dude? Oh, this is gonna be bad because I can't. Strider, and then Captain Commando. Like, I didn't know what games they were from.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird?
Had to look some stuff up.
Well, some of them were like more popular in Japan too.
I literally played Captain Commando just, I guess, last year. It was I think one of the games on because the Evercade that I got was the Capcom version of the Evercade. So it had a bunch of Capcom games preloaded on it, and Captain Commando was one of them. So I just thought, yeah, fuck it, that looks kind of cool. I'll give it a go. It's kind of
nice.
a bog standard
It's a beat 'em up.
Streets of Rage style beat 'em up, but that when I saw him in this game, like, that gave me the little pop that otherwise I wouldn't have had, because I was just like, yeah, who the fuck is this guy? But now it's just like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that guy. That's cool. And that's kind of what this is. It's like, it's very fan service.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
all
what
of
I
these
was.
characters.
That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't think of the term for it. But yeah, it's just like, if those who know would play this game and be like, oh shit, Captain Commando, that's awesome, or
Yeah,
Strider's a game.
that's a good game.
I never played it, but
It is a good game. Good game.
And then of course,
a lot of them
Darkstalkers
sound
is its own thing.
Yeah, a lot of them sound Sega-y to me.
Yeah, that means they're
Oh,
really,
yeah, it
really
kinda
good games.
I don't know. Just Capcom was a beat 'em up company, and I'm not a huge beat 'em up fan, or I wasn't back in the day. I'm starting to turn around on them, but yeah, a lot of these side characters, like these extra characters, are just like, why are they put in here? They're the D-list characters of Capcom, and they have so many people in Street Fighter and Mega Man, and I guess Resident Evil wasn't out at the time. But can you imagine Leon in this? Pulls out a gun, 3 shots,
Yeah.
runs out of bullets.
Mate,
Yeah, I
I'm
was gonna
telling
say,
you,
what would he
Leon
do?
Kennedy in this game would just dog walk everyone. The guy's unstoppable.
Except for you'd push up and you'd walk forward, and you'd have to tank control him through the level in a 2D
Oh
game.
yeah, could
he'd
you
just be-
imagine? It's like you can be Leon, but then your controls are like inverted.
Nah, he'd just be backflipping out of every situation. Do you know what else I really loved? Mega Man. And I know we talked about Mega Man already, but Mega Man has Rush with him.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I-
He's
So does
the
Roll,
proper
yeah.
Mega Man.
I love that. What a cool little addition.
Yeah, and these are not. I'm just looking at the screen, the character select screen. It's like, these are not. If you were to say, aside from maybe Spider-Man, if you were to say, give me some top tier Marvel heroes to put into a game, it's like they came up with Captain America. Hulk is maybe another one that would be on the list, but it's like Wolverine, but not Cyclops. I don't know. Wolverine was as popular as ever in the 90s. So it's like, yeah, so you got your Spider-Man, Hulk, and your Wolverine. Those are big names. But then you've got War Machine, which is weird. Gambit, a little weird. Venom, like Venom is so cool in this game too. Like, holy
Oh, you
shit.
have to have Venom, like especially if you just have Spider-Man there. Venom is just like the perfect
Yeah.
companion to him to be in this game. So I agree
Yeah,
with Venom 100% because he's a big hulking guy and you need more of those.
kind of has
Oh, I
the
don't disagree with any of the picks. It's just like you wouldn't maybe, I don't know, like any two people or three people could pick, like, give me like six Marvel characters to put in a fighting game, and that you'd have like six different or like three different combinations. Like everyone would pick probably six different ones, which is kind of cool.
I got to say though, when it comes to Venom, like hands down, my favorite character animation in the entire game. Like, I didn't actually use Venom. Maybe I should, but again, I've kind of figured him for the big slow moving guy. But that literally just when he starts the round, he's standing
Mm-hmm.
there as Eddie Brock, and then just the Venom just comes out of him and envelops him, and it's just to me the coolest animation in the entire game. Like they really put a lot of care and attention as to how the characters
Yeah.
move and look and are just interesting.
It's the fact that the game is still pixel art and
Oh,
it's done with like the arcade level, graphics and movement and like you said, animations and stuff like that. It's what makes this game look really, really good. Like I'm not going to deny at all that
gorgeous.
this game is just brilliant. It's bright, it's
Gorgeous.
colorful. The characters have like absolutely bonkers animations.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would say against it is sometimes so much shit's happening on the screen at once. I don't know what to look at, and I get confused, old man confused,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, and I start getting scared. Next thing you know, I'm shooting kids on my lawn.
Jesus
I think
fucking Christ.
you went full Gran Torino on that.
But no,
Uh,
it's just like I can't stress enough like how much I am not a fighting game fan, but I will
oh yeah.
never say a fighting game can't look absolutely spectacular.
Oh,
Like Street
Yeah.
Fighter on the Super Nintendo looks spectacular. This game looks way better than that, and it's all
Oh
again
my God.
pixel art.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Capcom at the peak of their
It's
powers.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Is like the PS1 Capcom, like that peak. Like I mean, the Super Nintendo was really, really good pixel art, but there was still some side-scrolling pixel art on this PlayStation that was really good. Like
Sure.
you look at like Mega Man. I had Mega Man X4 as a kid too, and like that game was so good looking. It was crazy. I mean, this isn't Capcom, but like Symphony of the Night, like those, I don't know. It just sucks that
Symphony
like
mentioned.
yes, Symphony
Happy
mentioned it. It's just it is kind of a shame at some point that and you had to do this right, but that the polygons took over because the polygons looked so bad for a while.
Oh
Like
my God.
the artwork is just so detailed and I don't know,
It looks
so
like
colorful.
it looks
pops.
like it's straight from the comic books.
Yeah.
Like there's no better compliment I can give this game. Just that
No,
it looks, and I agree with what Brian said 100%. Like it can get chaotic at times, but it's really leaning into that sort of action-packed comic book art style. I mean, yeah, listen, it confuses the fuck out of me as well, but you can't say it doesn't fit in with the theme.
no, it absolutely does. Like it's nothing wrong with it. I just said is like it's too much for my brain to process at once.
I'm right
It's
there
like
with you.
if I was an avid fighting fan, this would probably feel right at home. I imagine this is how a lot of fighting games do it nowadays. But for me, when you start flashing things all over the screen and the character blends into the background or all the laser beams and lights are happening, then that's where you kind of lose my focus and then I start button mashing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was doing that
That's what
right
was
from the
happening
start.
for me last night.
Yeah.
I was playing this last night just to kind of brush up on it. It's like it is a shame that the collection. I will say this, and we have to talk about the Capcom Fighting Collection, the Marvel versus Capcom version of the Capcom Fighting Collection. I think having it only be the arcade versions, because that's what I like about like the Turtles collection, is that yeah, you have Turtles in Time arcade, but you also have the Super Nintendo one on there, and you can flip between like the Turtles Tournament Fighters. You can flip through all three versions of that. Like you have Hyperstone
Mhm.
Heist, you have all those games. I wish that they would have put the PS1 version on the collection
I'm
because
you know what?
I
it's
agree
more
with you.
accessible.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I actually started off playing this on that collection and I was getting nowhere. I was so confused. And again, that's a me problem. I'm an old man. But playing the PS1 version, I found it a lot easier to get my head around. And
Mhm.
that meant I was by no means good at it, but I was starting to figure out a few combos and things like that. And, I got through, I mean, admittedly, I beat this game on easy, still counting it as a win,
Still counts.
still counts. But then sort of working my way up to like normal. And I mean, listen, I don't know all of the different modes in this game, but I know I put mine on normal mode rather than turbo mode because that just sounded too
I didn't even
fast for
touch
me.
turbo mode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I
Oh,
learned
God,
my
no.
lesson from Street Fighter on that one. But yeah, on normal mode, like I got fucking worked by the Incredible Hulk. Right, it
Mhm.
was not even. It was not even fair. And I get it. He's the Hulk, of course. It makes sense. But fucking hell.
But see, what I would do is I would get myself, win a couple of rounds, and then I would get absolutely worked over, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe let's check out like a different character, and then I would flip characters, and that's kind of how I made my way around a few of these characters, kind of
Yeah.
learn or just kind of see what they could do or what their animations looked like. It was more of that for me because, um, I mean, when you're talking about an arcade game versus the console version, the arcade game is designed to make money. So that if it's just a direct port is just going to translate to really hard game. And yeah, you can press start as many times as you want and try again, but it's still difficult. Like,
Yeah.
um, and the nice thing about the collection is it does have save states and online play and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you could get some sort of like third party, like 8-bit do, like arcade stick to kind of play on. That might be something I would consider. But like some of those combos are made for the arcade stick and buttons rather than your handheld controller or Joy-Cons or whatever you're using. So I don't know. It didn't translate that well, but that's not the game's fault. That's just how I played it. And I didn't get very far. I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, I just played it very poorly.
You're right.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I can't even begin to describe how I would try. Like I looked up the manual there with some of the combos and stuff like that, and I would try to use the combos, and then like I said, first thing knocked me off my game, and all of a sudden I'm just hitting every button on the controller hoping something happens.
Do you
I
know
did
what?
manage
Right.
to win a few fights that way, but for overall, no, I got my ass handed to me in this game. Thusly,
Right.
For the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to do the special attacks. And I'd seen some of these special attacks and they're spectacular. The screen flashes blue, and all
Oh
of a
yeah.
sudden you see the character's face really big on the screen, and it's just like, oh shit, something's about to happen. But for the life of me, I could not figure out. And I was looking up the moves list because you have to, and it's just like, okay, well, quarter circle forward, and then two punches. I was just like, nothing is fucking happening until I realized it's not two punches. You have to hold both of the punch buttons, the normal punch and the heavy punch at the same time. So it's quarter circle forward and then both of those buttons. And
Oh,
then
that's weird.
is that what it
I
was?
yeah, and
Fuck.
then I had to look it up, Brian, and I was right there with you. Then I was off to the races. I was like, well, now
Well,
I've got no way. I still lost, but I
that's
lost.
another
I lost
example
well.
of something that might be easier on an arcade, and like maybe some of those combos just kind of were translated directly over to the controller because like, man, hitting two buttons at the same time with your thumb, you'd have to kind of hold it kind of flat against your controller. That's not the easiest thing to do.
It was
um,
tricky.
I would say being able to look down at your 6-button pad and stick, if you're playing on an arcade and you need to hit punch and heavy punch, you just take two fingers and you hit each button. Like,
Yeah,
that's much easier than playing on a controller. So it's like in some ways this game was for sure built for the arcade experience.
yeah. And I think fighting games, by and large, I mean, it's where they came from, isn't it? It's
Right.
Yeah,
it's in the very DNA of a fighting game.
I
Yeah.
believe they've never fully translated well to consoles until they started making arcade sticks.
I mean,
Yes.
I think a lot of the people who are just
die-hard, ride or die fighting game fans, I mean, they do have that kind of shit, and that is what they're using. I mean, us scrubs playing on control pads, it's we're never gonna have a great time of it, but again, like you said, like you've said, Sam, like Brian said, it's not the game's fault. It's just this is not our usual wheelhouse by and large.
Exactly.
But I was,
Which it,
I was starting to figure out some combos, and I think it's something that anyone can learn if you just have the time to dedicate to it.
I think the biggest part about fighting games that turns me off is the repetitive nature of, you do 8 to 10 matches, you end a storyline, and then you pick another character and you do another 8 to 10 matches, and then you end another storyline. It just feels overly repetitive to me, and I think it's just what loses my interest.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing though is like we play games that are repetitive all the time. It's just a matter of like what interests you in that repetitive cycle. Like I can grind on an RPG and have a great time with it, and other people would be like, well, that's boring because you're just fighting the same kind of rinse and repeat battles over and over again to get experience points. Well, I like that gameplay loop. I'm with you, Brian. Like I don't necessarily, and it also stresses me out too because like it's like you get like 5 fights in and then all of a sudden you lose one. It's like, well, fuck.
yeah,
It's
Well,
like I just feel like I've wasted my time with
like,
those previous 5 fights.
to give you a counter on your RPG analogy there, I think the difference between an RPG and this, for me personally, is this you finish the game, like even if you don't finish the game, whatever, like, but you finish the game with a character, you finish the game. The RPG, when you're grinding, you still have new story to go through, and it
Yeah,
doesn't,
that's true.
well, yeah, like grinding can feel repetitive, you're still going forward and progressing in a game. Where this one, it feels like you're starting over for another 20-minute experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, then you just play a game where you don't have to grind like Final Fantasy
Yeah,
yeah. But then what you have to
there we go.
factor in as well. I mean, not only are people fans of the fighting genre, but it's not necessarily just the campaign mode. People will play this with their friends, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
again one of the appeals of a fighting game. Yeah, you will play through the story a couple of times, but then by and large, most people will just like get a buddy over and just go a few rounds with them, or have tournaments in their house. And
Yep. It's
you
the
know,
multiplayer.
exactly. It's the multiplayer that keeps people coming back. It's the multiplayer that, you look at these Evo events and things like that. It's not a campaign they're playing. It's competitive PvP stuff, and
Yeah.
that's really where they're getting their fix.
Yeah, that's
No,
man, that
if a fighting game fan came up to me and said, "I don't like RPGs, I prefer fighting games," I wouldn't like argue with them, because
No,
oh
we
no,
all
yeah.
like what we like, right? This just happens not to
absolutely.
be in my area of interest.
Yeah. Not my style of game. Even though like I would say there was a time back in the day when I was a kid where I wish I wish I had the patience to get good at these games or really learn them because I I do kind of enjoy fighting games when I like get into a rhythm. Like when we
Yeah.
covered Mortal Kombat, like I really enjoyed playing Mortal Kombat 1, and it's like I'll go back to it every now and then and just play a few rounds on my Sega. It's a good game.
Honestly, I mean, a fighting game is just one of the purest forms of video games out there. I mean,
Yeah.
in its concept, it is dead simple. It's just you versus the computer or you versus another person, punch and kick and try and get the victory. Like, it is dead simple in its DNA, in its foundation. And, I kind of love that purity about it. Um, and the spectacular things that they've been able to develop and innovate within the fighting genre is nothing short of spectacular. It's always been that sort of thing that I'm like, I don't think, given my tastes in video games and how I like to play so many different genres, I don't think it's something that I'll ever be able to specialize in. But I've just got a huge amount of respect for the genre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. I can't argue with any point you've made there. I was just kind of thinking when you were talking, you guys were talking about playing Mortal Kombat on Sega, and I do have something I'm going to say that you guys are not allowed to react to, but I think the 6-button Sega controller was the best 16-bit fighter gamepad ever made.
Oh,
Shh, shh.
Did you say I'm not allowed to argue or I'm not allowed to react?
We're
You're
not
not
allowed to
allowed to
react.
react
Oh,
because Brian said a nice thing about a Sega.
Yeah.
I'm. Don't worry, because we've literally got it on record. It's actually recorded. I can play that back and listen to it as many times as I like, and I will.
I pee-peed in my pants a little.
It's your ringtone.
Go and wipe yourself off.
Yeah,
Do you know
that
what
would
I
be a
need
fun
explained
ringtone.
to me while Sam's drying himself off?
Yeah.
Because we haven't really touched on this game. Kind of has a partner system.
Yes. I was waiting for a good time to bring that up because I scrolled through this site that I'm looking at. I was like, I almost forgot to talk about these partners. Go ahead.
Can you please explain it to me? Because
No.
beyond. Oh, great. Because I never got an assist or anything like that, and beyond characters swapping out when I got knocked out, like what's the deal there?
I think there is either a button or a button combination to summon your special character, and it is kind of a roulette, which is fun. Like you can pick your two, and we didn't really mention that this is a tag team, so you get two fighters aside, which is also pretty cool. So that's where this game really shines, I think, too. Is like, yeah, it's Marvel and Capcom, but then like you get to mix and match whatever you want. So you can take two Marvels, you can take a Marvel and a Capcom, you can take two Capcoms, you can do whatever the hell you want. And
Spider-Man and Mega Man.
yeah, that's right. And then you get these special partners, and there's again a mixture of Marvel and Capcom characters. So some of these characters actually ended up being playable in, I believe, the second game. But I mean, you've got Colossus, you've got Cyclops, you've got Jubilee, you've got Juggernaut, which was a fucking cool one to get. Rogue, Storm, Thor. On the Capcom side, I know a little bit less about these characters. I'll just be honest, but so I won't mention them. But
You're not going to talk about Anita?
Anita, yeah, who the hell is Anita? Fuck.
Arthur, though.
Wait.
Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, you know.
Yeah, Arthur. Okay, that's who that is. Ghosts and Goblins. One of my opponents had Arthur at one point. I was like, "Oh, it's Ghosts and Goblins, dude."
But these are not playable characters. Like I know you can team up with playable characters through this. I never saw any of these assist characters. I guess they literally only come in to help with an attack or something, and then dash.
Well, you have to use a button combo, don't you?
Yes, you do. You have to summon them with a button combo, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I kept like accidentally swapping my character or doing something else. But when they come in, it's kind of cool. And I think you might have had to have a special meter charged a little bit. There's a meter on the bottom that has 3 levels on it, and you needed to fill that up if you wanted to do that kind of like screen special, like the special move, or summon this character in. And maybe it could be done once per. I don't know. I'm just completely talking out of my ass at this point, but there is a way to summon them in, and they'll do some sort of attack. Like Juggernauts, for example. Like Juggernaut will come in and do this like complete screen clear of the bottom because he'll just like run through the bottom of the screen. Arthur jumps in and he throws his like lances. I think Cyclops does like just like a beam across the screen. I think you can either duck or jump over it, but it's usually an attack that I think is pretty hard to avoid.
Yeah,
and it's just meant to. I don't even know. Like, it's almost like it's a tag team fighter, but it's like a team of like 2.5. Like you have your 2 characters that are playable, and then you've got this like third kind of wild card that you get that you can kind of throw out there, and you don't control it. It just does a thing and then leaves. It's pretty cool. It's a neat concept.
It is really cool because it gives characters that aren't quote unquote in the game. I suppose it's not really because they are in the game, but it just shines a light because you were saying about there's no Cyclops, there's no, but they do at least get the nod in these assist characters, which is just again really really cool. Just get more of that fan service. Maybe you can't play as one of your favorite Marvel characters, but they're still in there in some form. I'd love to see the Juggernaut attack. Like, what a cool character that is.
Yeah, he comes in and just clears the bottom of the screen. He's just a beast. But that's the kind of the cool thing too, though, is like I wonder if they already had, and I mean, this is kind of getting into development talk, and I have no idea how this game was developed or in general how games are developed. I just kind of play them and talk about them. But I have to imagine that this kind of summon character was kind of a laboratory for like what they were thinking if they wanted to make a sequel to this game. Because then here you go, you've got, maybe some of them were existing from previous games.
I
like
was going to say,
X-Men, Street Fighter, stuff like that.
You have to imagine, like in an X-Men fighting game, which there was before this.
Yeah,
like
some of
these
them already existed.
Yeah, they had to.
But then you create some of them, and I'm sure I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought here, but it's like
Alan,
it's almost like you have the asset now.
Yeah,
you're playing the PS1 version, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was reading the development here, and it said because of RAM limitations, the developers had to remove certain features, most notably the game's tag team element. Thus, most game modes are restricted to 2-character battles instead of 4. Yeah. So your secondary character became your assist character.
Oh.
In the PS1 version?
Yeah.
That's why it was like I was playing it and I was like, I don't remember being able to swap out like this.
Yeah, and I think when your character, like your primary character died, your secondary came in and you just carried on with this kind of a second chance, right?
Do you know what, Brian? You've probably just saved us from like
exactly
a few write-ins, just like these fucking guys don't know what they're fucking talking about.
What? Who are these boys over here talking about me command list crap? That's you, Raging Demon. I know you're listening.
Well, we're not fighting game experts by any means.
We're doing our best. God damn it!
Please forgive us. We like this game. We're praising the hell out of this game. We're just not.
I mean, as far as fighting games go, you mentioned things like Bloody Roar and what was the other one with the monkey and the dinosaurs and
Primal Rage
and stuff like that. Yeah. Bloody Roar is a game that actually like completely turned me off of fighting games because it frustrated me to no end. Bloody Roar was a PS1 game where you start off as a human and you turn into a beast. It was a great concept because every fighting game has to have its sort of gimmick, kind of like this has 2-player tag team. That one had the transformation, and I played it. I rented it. I played it for a bit, and it like just turned me off of fighting games. So I never actually touched this one outside of arcades because I was just like I was done with console fighting games.
Makes sense. Yeah. That being said,
you get sometimes you get a bad taste when you play a game that just doesn't click with you.
Every I don't know, it feels like every decade or so, I will dip my toe in another one. I used to play Street Fighter, and then, come the Sega Saturn, I'd be playing Virtua Fighter or Fighting Vipers. I used to love Fighting Vipers. That was a great time. And then, not too long ago, I was playing, which actually, Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighter Z or however you want to say it, now that I think about it, takes a lot of inspiration from these kind of games. Like that is a very similar sort of game to this.
Yeah. I'd like to try one of those one of these days. I think I'm running out of stuff to talk about in this one, to be honest.
Sure,
I mean, it's not the deepest game. It's a fighting game. I mean, we
the music
on the
in
cool
the game
stuff.
is exactly what you would expect in a fighting game.
Honestly, I spend so much time button mashing that I didn't even notice.
Exactly what you expect in a fighting game.
It's great.
I don't notice it in the fights. I just notice like for fighting games, for the most part, the music is the selection screen to me or the title screen, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, I can't focus on that many things at once. So
I don't know. You play a Street Fighter track, and I might be able to tell you whose level it is.
Well, that's true. I guess. I guess I don't know. But like when I'm actually playing the game, like Guile's theme, it's like is the famous one. But when you're playing it, I mean, I kind of tune out some of the sounds. And you can kind of hear it when the level starts too. But like once you're kind of into it, like you're not really thinking about the music. And if you are, you're probably getting your ass kicked.
Oh, like I was getting my ass kicked on Onslaught. What a bitch that guy is. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get that far, obviously. I might have as a kid.
I was on easy.
Probably on easy mode.
I was
Yeah.
on easy, and he was still kicking my ass. Like, he's a full screen, like screen occupying behemoth. Looks spectacular, but my god,
That's
definitely.
always the tough part when you have a game where it's just like a 1v1 type, square off 2D, type game, a fighting game, basically is what I'm describing. But you don't want one character to have any significant advantage over the other. It's just that, like they have different abilities, but they're pretty evenly matched. But like when you get to like some sort of a boss fight in these games where they have a distinct advantage over you, like size or being able to use like screen clearing moves, it just gets really tough. Like I never really liked the kind of quote unquote boss on a fighting game. It just
Yeah.
always felt kind of like unfair. I don't
Shao
know.
Kahn
I
would
just
like a
bad luck.
word.
He's a dick.
He is a dick.
God.
What
And
a
so is
dick.
Goro. Like I was having trouble with Goro when we played Mortal Kombat. I was just like, I don't know if I
He's
need to
got
like
4
continue
fucking
with this.
arms. Just like, how
I
is
know.
that fair?
And they're usually a little or they're faster than you or just something that they give you that boss advantage. It's just
Do
like,
you know what it makes me
get outta
think
here.
of? Do you ever see that Key and Peele sketch where they're doing that talk up before the fight? He's like, did you get an actual crazy person to fight? Because that's not fair on me or him. Oh, if you've seen it, you know. Oh, I'm
All
done.
right. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say on this. I think we should give our final thoughts and
Yes.
Yes,
yeah. All right. We'll go in the opposite order that we started in. Alan, why don't you give us a start on your final thoughts here?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, again, as we've made abundantly clear at this point, we are not fighting game aficionados. That being said, we can respect the genre and we can respect a good and influential entry in that genre, and this is every bit of that. I mean, just on the surface level, this game is spectacular to look at. It is gorgeous, like all of the character animations and the colors pop, and even just down to like the little splash screens between fights. It just pick a random character and you just get a full screen of that character, and it just looks great. Like everything about this game looks straight out of a comic book. And again, it's down to that 2D art style, which it's not a hot take to say that will always look better, to me at
Yeah.
least, than most other 3D fighters out there, especially at this time. um I found the controls, even though I'm not great and I am prone to button mashing, I found the controls very responsive, very tight, and really accessible. I mean, it takes me a long time to get my hands and head around a fighting game, but even in my short time playing this, I was starting to get the hang of it, and I was starting to figure out a few of the combos and work out how it works and how to block and when to block and all of that sort of stuff. So I didn't necessarily feel overwhelmed. I wasn't great at it, but I didn't feel like it was unfair. It is the sort of game where it's just like, you know what, if I stick with this for a while, I could probably see myself getting quite capable. And a lot of that is just down to how balanced I think the whole experience is. I mean, there's a great roster of characters. And there are some, I guess, limitations, there are some omissions, but I can only imagine wherever we are now in the Marvel versus Capcom series, you've probably got hundreds upon hundreds of characters. So that's just fighting game 101. The rosters always get bigger. I mean, music wise, I can't really comment on. Not bad, not bad. Nothing really stood out to me, but that's probably again because I had to put so much of my attention into actually playing the game, that I couldn't actually listen to it. I don't know. It's just I will absolutely play this game again. I'll absolutely buy this game because I still have the dream of owning every single Marvel video game that's ever been released. Because I'm a big Marvel fan, so this definitely tickled me. I think I'll give it an 8.5. And could it be higher? Sure, but it's probably just my lack of familiarity with the fighting genre as a whole. But I still think this is a great game.
Nice. All right, Brian.
Wow. All right. Graphically, let's start with the super positives about this thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be sitting here gushing about how much I love fighting games, so I'm going to tell you what I really liked about this game, which is the graphics. Is first and foremost, it is very, like I said, vibrant. It's colorful. Character animations are on point. The pixelated graphics work perfectly with the PlayStation. I can only imagine how much better it looks on the Dreamcast. I've never actually seen it, but I did watch a bit of a video of the arcade version, and it looks just outstanding, like very stunning. The moves, I did appreciate that I felt some familiarity in the moves, a little bit of muscle memory, but at the same time, I really, really would have to hunker down and practice this game just to get mediocre at it. Uh, I don't have the patience for it. Alan, you said you're going to buy this game for sure, and I get your reasoning for it. But for me, this is probably the last time I play this, and maybe even any other Marvel versus Capcom, unless we decide to cover another one. It just falls into the genre that I like the least, and it's by no fault of its own. People like fighting genre. That's absolutely perfect for them because everybody likes what they like. For me, this I just can't get interested in it. The characters in the game, I like the characters. Actually, I like the roster, even though there's some omissions there that I think should have been put in. But like Sam said, it's based around the what's that guy's name story?
Onslaught.
Onslaught. There you go. Obviously, I'm not as big of a Marvel fan as Alan here. Uh, the difficulty of the game is probably what turns me off the most. And again, that's just me getting good. It's not the game's fault. So when I look at this game for scoring wise, I'm actually going to be giving it what I think maybe a fighting game fan, if I had to recommend a fighting game fan a game fighting game, I probably would recommend this game. I'd actually tell them this is probably one of the better ones they'll be able to play because it has a good gimmick, especially the two player. Like if you play the arcade version and you can swap out your characters, that to me is really really neat. And especially while we were talking, I popped on a video of the arcade version and uh, seeing them use the characters by swapping them out halfway through a fight there just because maybe one of your characters is better against the opposing character, and maybe you're so close to death you want to save that character just for a just in case. But it adds a level of strategy to the game that I can actually respect. So I'm not going to go as high as Alan, which was what, an 8.5.
That's right.
That's right. Now I'm going to keep it a little bit lower. I'm going to go about 7.5 on this one. It's still a really good game. I have no complaints about it. Like nothing that I could like justify outside of me not liking fighting games. It is perfectly suited to the PlayStation, and especially in a time when 3D graphics were still just so in their infancy. Sticking with the pixelated graphics was the brilliant move by Capcom, and this is definitely something if you're a fighting game fan to jump into and try out. Obviously, there's later games in the version, but walk before you run, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that 7.5.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know what else I would add. Brian, I really like that you said something about the swappable characters, like factoring into the strategy. Because I mean, obviously, I'm not good at these either. So, a highly skilled player at a game like this with a tag team element knows, the kind of the best combo that works for them and who to use when and what moves and all that kind of stuff. Like, but it's all the thing that blows me away about fighting games, that it's all happening so fucking fast that it's just like, man, I just don't have that kind of patience to get good or reaction time to be a natural at it. So yeah, I think a lot of the reason why I wanted to cover this, I think I might have suggested this one, was just we got to mix in fighting games every now and then. We've only covered 3 in the whole series of our show so far.
That's 3 too many.
That's 3 too many. But yeah, I mean, there was a bit of a nostalgic feeling that I got firing this up. The music, the sound effects, the animations, the graphics are great. That's really what I would focus on. I did have a copy. I sold it, which I'm really kind of kicking myself for because I figured, hey, I'll have the collection, and that's fine. And that collection does not include the console versions, which are, I think, more accessible. You know, if you're playing the arcade version, you know, grab a friend and play it. You'll have more fun that way, I think, because it is just an arcade game that's designed to just eat your quarters, which means it's really fucking hard. Um, so I think at some point, I'm with Alan. I would pick this game up again if I can find it at the right price, and that's a lot of ifs stacked on top of each other. Like I'd have to really consider, because I think when I sold it was when I traded it up to get credit to get my DS, which I guess wasn't a mistake because I got a DS out of it. But still, it's like, why that game? I wish I would have kept it. This has just become a lament for my PS1 copy of Marvel vs. Capcom. But this started out, well, it didn't start because it's interesting. A lot of people probably don't really realize how many of these kind of crossover games there were leading up to this even, but this has kind of become the gold standard in these type of crossover games. So there's Marvel versus Capcom, but then 2, I think, is the one that's kind of the real gold standard, where I think people kind of go back to that one as the peak of this franchise. I think it was either 3, or maybe if there was a 4th one, came out after the Disney acquisition of Marvel, and of course Disney fucked it up. They were using like MCU versions of characters, and it just didn't have the same pop that this one does with that old, with that 90s graphic style and oh god, this game is just gorgeous. I'm bad at it. That will never change, but I think at some point I would love to pick it up again. I'm not going to go on any longer. This is a great game. I'm not good at it. Lots of people are. I'm going to give this. I'm going to agree with Alan. It makes for bad podcasting, but I'm going to call it an 8.5. I can't quite go as high as 9 just because I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 probably does all of this better. And they've really perfected that formula and added more characters. But yeah, an 8.5. This is a really, really good game.
Yeah, I was just wondering,
No, she doesn't.
What score did she give it?
She's given it a 6.
Well, there you go. And that's the first time in the show's history that we've got an extra score from a beagle.
Yeah, that was Blossom.
Oh, hey Blossom. That being said, you're talking about picking this up again. Like, is it the same for you guys as it is over here? Because I just looked it up, and the PS1 version for some reason is like almost double, maybe more than double what the Dreamcast version is. I mean, I want to get it on Dreamcast anyway because that's a collection that I could really do with beefing up. But I wonder why that is.
Oh man, from $39 to $270. I mean, I'll tell you what, I probably got taken for a ride when I sold it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like an average of probably $70.
Okay. Ours is around about 100, but that's.
I mean,
the Dreamcast one here is about 141. Like
wow.
140.
I think
the PlayStation one is on eBay for 134. So
I think this is without
Dreamcast
doing a whole
50.
lot of research. I think the Dreamcast one is probably higher.
Wow, good job. It's
Jesus. Disc only $67. Get the fuck out of here.
I can get a box with manual for 50 squid. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
I'm gonna pick
the
that
Retrotopia
up.
boys go shopping.
And
yeah. Well, that's another thing that I forgot about because I had this game physical and complete, in the case with the manual and stuff. The inside of the case is fucking cool. There's like a Spider-Man, Mega Man artwork inside the case, and it looks so cool. It is a cool case. Like I would love
that.
Man, I would love a poster of this, just like the expanded version of the cover with all the characters facing each other. I would take that as a poster.
That cannot be hard to find. Good. That has to exist. Do you know what else I was thinking
someone
of?
Could print it. Yeah.
While you were talking, I know we're going on. We were talking about like how fast these games can be. Have either of you guys ever seen the Evo Moment 37?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Magneto.
No, Chun-Li versus Ken.
No.
Look it up. Evo moment
I
37.
think I know what you're talking about. It's like the epic comeback from like one bar from death when he
Yeah.
just absolutely
How
corks the other person.
like literally like
I
a
would lose my
moment
mind.
away from death and just parries every single one of these strikes. I can't remember, was it like 14 or 15 strikes with pinpoint perfect parries? And it's just like I look at that sort of thing, I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. I will never be that good at fighting games, and I have accepted this.
That's so crazy too, though. That's the highest of the top end talent
I mean,
when it comes to
Evo, isn't it?
And I mean, how finely tuned are these games that people can get so good at them? And I mean, it's just incredible what people are, they take these games and are just like so fucking skilled. I can't even, and I played the arcade version. This is one thing I didn't mention. One real quick thing, and then we can wrap this up. But the input reading on the arcade version is absolutely fucking insane. It's like I couldn't even get a hit in because it was just like block, 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 and then I'd get like a Hadouken off or some sort of move, and I was like, oh, that was cool, blocked. So that's just like, well, fuck me.
Yeah. Well, we suck.
Anyways, yeah, that'll do it for Marvel versus Capcom. I guess we can do a quick plug at the end for the linktree /Retrotopia, Patreon /Retrotopia. Come find us on Discord, join our Discord. Alan runs the socials over on Instagram. That's kind of the best place to find us on socials, I think.
Yeah, the Twitter and the Blue Sky barely get touched.
Yeah, well, those are
once a week,
anyways.
just to say the new episode's out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all it needs to be.
I tried, but I'm so bad at social media.
Yeah. Well, if that's it, boys, I don't have a clever sign off, so I would say fight.
Oh, that was a knockout.